What is going on YouTube? This is Mohammed, your PMP instructor from Certified with Ease, and in this video we're going to leverage 23 PMP mindset principles, and I'm going to show you my 3-step methodology to get to the PMP answer before even reading the question itself. You heard that right. We're going to get to the answer before even reading the question. This is going to be a game changer for your exam because it's going to save you so much time and make your life so much easier so you can get certified and move on. Okay, so before we begin, I got a quick gift for all of you. I've made this PMP mindset workbook. I have all my steps here, my 3-step methodology, 23 PMP mindset principles. My principles come with an example to support and to show you how the principle works. And at the end, I have a whole bunch of questions that you can practice on. If you want this document, simply add me on LinkedIn, connect with me, and send me a DM saying PMP mindset workbook. I will give it to you. I'm trying to grow my LinkedIn network, so if you guys can help me out with that, I will help you out with this mindset workbook. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Ask me your questions, no problem whatsoever. Might take a little bit of time, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into these 10 questions. Okay, so these are some questions that I've included in the workbook. There are more questions, but the purpose of these questions right now is that I want to do a deep dive. I want to show you how you should approach a PMP question from start to finish. Number one, and I'm going to show you how to do this, but number one, the first step is always to read with purpose. Okay? We're going to frame the problem. Number two, we're going to eliminate the answers that contradict our principles. Okay? Our principles over here. 23. Initially there were 18. I have 23 now. And we're going to choose the answer that best solves our problem. Okay, let's start right away so we don't waste any more time so you guys can get certified and get that high-paying job and more opportunities. Okay, let's start right away. Number one, after meeting with clients to discuss the project plan, the project manager was informed that the proposed 12-month timeline for product delivery is no longer acceptable. The clients require product to be launched within 4 months. Based on this new expectation, what should the PM do next? Okay. Now I want to ask you guys this question. What is the problem statement here? The problem statement is pretty simple. The problem statement is forgive me for my handwriting, it's really bad, but I'm going to try my best. The problem statement is we need to deliver early. We need to deliver early. You want to frame the problem in a way that you understand it. Don't use the words in the problem. Use the words that you normally use. For me, when I read this problem, I simply understand that, hey, we need to deliver early. Instead of 12 months, we got to deliver in 4 months. All right, first step is done. Second step, we're going to read the answers and we're going to eliminate the answers that contradict our principles. A, explain that the delivery cannot be made in such a short notice. So which principle does this contradict? Go over here. Now remember, these principles are all included in the document. So if you want the document, add me on LinkedIn, connect with me, and you guys can get the principles too, okay? But the principle that this contradicts is going to be over here. Where is it? Never reject the request. I forgot what number it was. Yes, 17. Never immediately reject a request or an opportunity, especially from a client. So over here, by saying that, you know what, we can't deliver this in such short notice, we are rejecting that. Okay, so we are not going to choose this right away. Actually, we're not going to choose this at all because it contradicts our principle. B, re-evaluate the project backlog. Remember, your project backlog has all of the features in a prioritized fashion. Prioritize essential features and create an MVP that can be delivered within the next 6-month time frame. I like this answer. I'm going to leave it for now. We're not choosing answers now. We're simply eliminating. C, request additional budget approval from the sponsor to bring in more resources and compensate for the compressed schedule. Okay. Now, there's one thing that we don't want to do right away. That is spend money. So number 2, never settle for delays or extra costs. We don't want to settle for this right away. It is a solution. It is a solution. We can spend more money to use a scheduling compression technique, but we don't want to do this right away. Okay? So, for that being said, we are going to eliminate C for now. D, assess the critical path and inform stakeholders that delivering the full project scope within the 6-month timeline is unachievable. Now, I like the solution, assess the critical path, because anytime you have a scheduling problem, you want to look at your critical path. It makes sense. The second part of the question contradicts principle number 17, like we mentioned. We never want to reject a request. We want to do everything that we can in order to get the client what he or she wants. So we're not going to choose this. First part is good. The first part, assess, I like this word. This is good. The second part, though, is bad. Now we're left with B. Let's explain why B is the answer. Re-evaluate the project backlog. This is the project manager taking a step back. Remember, taking a step back is the most common principle that you are going to see on your PMP exam. Okay? Taking a step back is something that you need to do as a project manager. Always investigate, analyze, ask before deciding on a solution. When the question mentioned what should the PM do first or next, look for the answer that respects this principle. This is the most commonly used principle. Okay? So taking a step back, that's principle number 1 that's being respected. And also, another one is the MVP, number 5. You will see that the MVP and the root cause analysis are the most common tools that the PMP likes to bring up a lot. Root cause analysis will always be used when you have a problem and you're trying to solve that problem. You're trying to figure out what the root problem is. MVP, on the other hand, will be used if you're running out of time and you got to deliver value fast. So in this case, our question mentions MVP, and we have principle 1 in action. So the answer here is going to be B. Okay? So you see how we're breaking this question down? We got 3 steps that we're going to use. You want to use the same steps on your exam. And you'll see that, if it feels a little bit tedious, it feels a little bit long, but after some time, you'll get so used to it that you won't even have to read the question. You'll simply just go to the answer and you'll pick the right answer. Okay, let's continue. B, or question 2. A pharma company is overhauling its product development and release strategy. The senior stakeholders consider this transformation to be high risk and emphasize that it must be successful. What action should the project manager take in this situation? Okay, so before we move on, what we want to do, what was that? Okay, what we want to do is we want to frame the problem. What is the problem statement? Ask yourself this question. So I did a mistake. I was reading the question, but I wasn't paying attention. Don't do that during your exam. The senior stakeholder considers this transformation to be high risk and emphasize. Okay. So, pharma company is overhauling its product development and release strategy. The senior stakeholder considers this transformation to be high risk and emphasize it must be successful. So we're overhauling. A lot of risk plus lots of risk. It's got to be successful. Okay? Meaning that we need to make sure that it's successful. We got all these things going on. We need to make sure that it's successful. Okay? This is how I understood it. Now you have to understand it in a way that you're able to continue the problem. Remember, we're trying to choose a solution that's going to solve the problem completely. A, make a business case that highlights the assumptions and expectations for the new model. Okay. All right, makes sense. I don't see anything in the question that talks about a new model. And remember, one of our principles is if the answer mentions a new piece of information not mentioned in the question, you want to eliminate that, okay? If you guys need that principle, it's over here. Number 19. When the answer mentions information not mentioned in the question, eliminate that answer, okay? But let's just continue on for now. Let's see what else there is. Okay. Develop a communications plan to ensure employees are informed of the new business model. Okay. This is not a communications problem. They talk nothing. The question does not mention anything about communications here. So B will not be the answer because B does not solve our root problem. It does not solve, in other words, our problem statement. So I'm going to eliminate B. I'm not going to choose that. Plan and implement an iterative approach that prioritizes delivering the highest business value early. I like this. Okay? You're taking a step back. You are planning, number 1. You're implementing, number 2. And you're going for the highest business value. This is a principle. Anyways, let's not eliminate it. We're going to come back to it. D, draft a detailed sprint plan that clearly defines the deliverables for the upcoming iterations. Okay. Now, D is a little bit contradictory. The reason being is because when it comes to a sprint, we do not make the sprint as detailed as possible. We keep it very light. This is the whole nature of an Agile project. The whole nature of an Agile project is to keep things minimal. So drafting a detailed sprint plan when there's a lot of risk involved is not going to be useful. Because when you're drafting things and when you're detailing things too much, let's say the risk, it kicks in and changes everything. You spent all that time planning something out when you shouldn't have. Remember, an Agile project is about taking a couple of steps forward, assessing your situation, looking left, looking right, in front of you, behind you, and then deciding on how you should move forward. So making a detailed plan is not going to help. You want to plan a couple of steps forward, okay? I'm not going to choose D for now. I'm going to eliminate that. And now we're left with A and we're left with C. I'm going to go with C. C is the perfect thing. It's a comprehensive solution. You're taking a step back. You're not only planning, you're implementing the approach. And the key word, you are prioritizing the highest business value early. This, my friends, my fellow future PMP holders, PMP certified professionals, whenever you see the word value in an answer, you want to really highlight that. Whenever you see a solution that says, go for the highest value, whatever, you wanna don't pick that answer right away, read everything, but you wanna really focus on that answer. Okay? Remember, this is one of our principles. When it comes to value, always choose the most value-driven answer. Okay? All right, so the answer here is going to be C. Hey, if you guys have some other thoughts, meaning like, hey, like Mo, like I think the answer should be B, or I think the answer should be A, message me on LinkedIn. Let's argue. Let's debate. It's a good way to learn, actually. It's a very, very good way to learn. You give me your reasoning, I'll give you my reasoning, and we'll butt heads. Okay? Okay, question 3. Short question, let's get this done. A PM is assigned to lead an Agile team. The team, however, does not feel empowered. How can the PM encourage empowerment and accountability within the team? All right. Problem statement is what? Problem statement is simple. Team doesn't feel empowered. Okay. Now we got to choose the solution that's going to solve this problem completely. But before that, let's eliminate the answers that contradict our principles or do not solve our problem statement. A, assign tasks based on each team member's role to ensure that they work on areas where they have expertise. You know, it might make them feel empowered to work on what they're good at, but in reality, it's not always the case. You're not always able to give your resources the task that they're good at. Okay, I'm not going to eliminate that. It's an answer. I don't like it that much, but let's just see what else there is. Okay, it doesn't contradict our principles, nor does it really not solve our core problems. So let's just leave it for now. Encourage. Okay, I like this word. Encourage is one of the words that you want to focus on. But let's just continue reading the question. Anytime you see encourage does not mean it's the answer, okay? Encourage a team to conduct demos of their products or software directly to the customers. Okay, so, this is one of those situations where you see the word encourage. You think that, okay, you know what? Servant leadership. But then you read the answer. It's like, why are you talking about demos? Why are you talking about demos or products or services to customers? This does not solve the core problem. Okay, this is a perfect example of an answer that is not related to the core problem whatsoever. So we're going to eliminate this. Okay, remember, we're looking for answers that contradict our principles or do not solve our core problem. C, give the team the autonomy to decide how they will complete their tasks. Okay, this is a very good solution. Okay, I like this word autonomy here. I'm going to talk about this. This is one of our principles. Let's move on. Urge the team to consult the product owner when determining how to solve specific tasks. Number 1, the product owner is responsible for the product backlog, and the project team is responsible for determining how to solve specific tasks. So it's kind of strange that you're going to the product owner. And number 2, this doesn't empower anyone. You're telling your team, by the way, I'm not going to micromanage you, but that product owner is going to micromanage you. This does not solve the core problem. We're trying to empower our team. We're trying to give them accountability. This does not solve the problem. Let's look at C. Now, we mentioned specifically in this question that we're dealing with an agile team. So you look at C over here, and look at principle number 15. Agile projects are self-organizing. Giving your team the autonomy, giving your team independence on how they will complete their tasks is basically saying that, hey, you guys are self-organizing, figure it out. This is what you want to do for an agile project. And you might ask yourself, why? Why do we want to do this for an agile project? Because an agile project is so fast-paced. There's so many different things that are happening. There's so many changes that the PM does not have the capacity or should have the capacity to deal with all these changes. So you give your team the autonomy and say, listen, you guys are the experts because you are building this product, for example. So be self-organizing and figure it out. C is going to be the answer in this case. All right, cool. Let's move on. Question 4. A PM has been assigned to lead a new project. The organization does not have a project management office or any formal policies and procedures. What should the PM do first? Okay. Let's check this out. Okay, so our problem statement here is what? Remember, frame this in your own words. Our problem statement is no formal procedures. This is how I understood it. Meaning no procedures on how to conduct a project, on how to make a plan of action, on all these kind of things. A, consult a subject matter expert to determine the best way to move forward. Okay, that could be a solution. This is technically one of our principles over here. Where is it? I gotta find this, guys. My bad. Yeah, I know these principles by heart, but I don't know what number there are. But the principle here is, you know what, you could check it up yourself. The principle here is if your team does not know what's going on, if you or your team does not know what's going on here, number 13, a subject matter expert is what you need. Okay? So let's move on. Let's continue. So it could be a solution. Let's continue. Discuss with the team members on how the projects should move forward. Okay, that's a better solution. Because the first people that you should ask are your team members. This is a principle. The principle that our team members are the experts. You can check in the list. The team members are the experts. So B will happen first before A. So I'm going to eliminate A because of B. Select either a predictive or agile framework that best suits the project and use it as the foundation for governing policies and procedures. Okay, select an either predictive or agile framework. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still don't have your procedures in place. So you're kind of it's the analogy, where did the chicken come first or did the egg come first? Kind of in a way. Anyways, you can select the project approach, but I would rather have some procedures in place to even know what to select. But I'm going to leave it for now. I don't think it's a bad answer. I'm going to leave it for now. Guide the team to create a tailored governance policy and procedures that fit the specific needs of the project. Apologies for that. Okay, so this is a good solution as well. Now D actually answers the question very well, because we have no formal procedures. Forget about moving forward with the projects. We don't even have procedures in place. D leverages the team. The reason why you want to leverage the team is because your team members are the experts. This is a principle. I'll keep switching back because I want you guys to understand these principles. I'm telling you, if you understand these principles, the exam is yours. Your team members are the experts. Okay? They know more than you. When you're managing the construction of a condo building, the construction workers know way more than you. So you want to guide the team to create tailored governance policies because they know more than you in terms of the procedures, and then you fit those specific needs of the project. Okay, this is a very good solution. I like this one. I'm going to choose this one. This solution is better than B. It's more complete. B is still a good solution, but D is more complete, and C can follow after D is implemented. Okay, so D is going to be my solution over here. All right, let us move on to question number 5. What is this? Okay. Question number 5. Okay. At the start of the execution of the project, at the start of project execution, the PM discovers that the key team member will be unavailable for 2 weeks, which could potentially cause a delay in the project schedule. What should the project manager do first? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is the problem statement. Okay. So team member unavailable. Unavailable. This is what I've understood. Again, you want to frame it in a way that you understand it. You don't want to make it long. You want to be chop, fast. What's the problem? Team member unavailable. Done. Okay? Team member unavailable is going to equal to delay. We don't like delays in projects. A, reassign the task to another resource and ask to work additional hours. Okay, so you can always reassign the task, but asking a team member to work additional hours, and you'll see this a lot. You'll see this a couple of times in questions. You never want to choose that answer. You don't want to ask someone to work additional hours, at least not right away. So leave it for now. Technically speaking, it solves the problem and it doesn't contradict any of our principles. Let's see if there's a better answer. Update the project schedule to reflect the potential delay due to the resource's unavailability. Okay. So updating the project schedule is a very good idea, but here's the problem. When you update the project schedule to reflect the potential delay, you have accepted the delay as a consequence. You are basically saying, you know what? This team member is going to be unavailable. The project's going to be delayed. Let me update the project schedule. And remember, one of the fundamental rules of project management, in real life too actually, is you never settle for delays or extra costs. Number 2. Okay? But delays are very detrimental for projects. You never want to do that. Keep that in mind. So that being said, I'm going to eliminate question number, I'm going to eliminate option B because it contradicts our principle. C, contact human resources to request a temporary replacement and update the risk register. This is a good solution. And it's not bad. However, I don't want to go to human resources for now. I don't want to go to the sponsor. I don't want to go to the human resources. I want to try to solve this issue myself as a PM. This is actually principle number I think 8. Let's see. Let's go back. Yes, number 8. The PM makes decisions and handles the issues. No running to sponsors, management, or HR. I know this is not really running to them. This is more like, can you help us with this? Which is fine, but at the end of the day, you don't want to go to HR. You want to try to solve the problem yourself as a PM. Okay, so on your exam, you're going to see this a lot. Go to the sponsor. Go to HR. You don't want to do that. Okay, I'm not going to choose this for now. Revise the resource management plan and adjust the resource allocation chart accordingly. Okay, D is interesting. D, you got the word revise here. And what does revise mean? Revise is taking a step back. So this is principle number 1. Okay? This is principle number 1 in action. And adjust the resource allocation chart accordingly. So you might have a resource that's going away. Let's see what else we can do. Let's see who else we can allocate the task to. So this is a good solution. And I really like the solution because it has the word revise. And I want to give you guys another little trick. This does not work all the time, so you got to be very cautious of it. But when a question or an answer starts mentioning project management terms, like resource management plan, resource allocation chart, I think there's another word for this one. But when they start mentioning project management terms, it does not mean that it could be the answer, but there's a good chance it is the answer. The PM wants you to, the PMP wants you to, or the PMI wants you to leverage these keywords, okay? But the key here is principle number 1, revise, taking a step back. All right, let's move on to question number 6. Okay. So during the retrospective, so the retrospective is at the end of a sprint. They're not doing this, they're not executing the sprint anymore. They're at the end of the sprint. Several team members mention that they are unable to complete tasks during the iteration due to interruptions and requests for help from other teams. As a team facilitator, what should the project manager do to prevent this from happening? Okay. Our problem statement is what then? Our problem statement was, or is, team cannot complete iterations due to due to interruptions. Okay, let's just call it interruptions, because technically speaking, requests from other team members are interruptions as well, right? So interruptions. Done. That's the problem statement. Looking at my handwriting, it's absolutely terrible. My apologies, guys, again. Hopefully you can understand it, and at least from my words, you can understand what I mean, okay? So what should the PM do? Identify the root causes of the interruptions and establish clear ground rules for the team to minimize external disruptions. Okay, I like this solution already. You have two things that really help in understanding that this is going to be the answer. Number 1, root cause. I remember what I told you guys. Root cause is the same thing as root cause analysis. Okay? Anytime you have a problem, you're trying to solve the problem, the first step is to decide is to use a root cause analysis, or to find out what the root cause of the problem is. And I really like this as well. I really like this part as well. Oh, man, come on. There we go. Okay. Where they say in the question, establish clear ground rules. Now, this is not a principle, but I want to give you guys a little tip. When you are with your project team, in the beginning of the project, you need to establish clear ground rules. So a simple one could be no cell phones during the meetings, no texting during the meetings. Or in this case, don't accept requests from other team members. So number 1, you have the root cause. This is really important. Number 2, you have the ground rules. But number 1 is the most important thing, because in order to solve the problem, you got to understand what the problem is in the first place, right? If you don't understand what the problem is, it ain't going to work out. Let me just move this a little bit. Actually, don't leave it. Okay, so let's move on. B, bring in a coach to help all project teams improve their ability to solve problems independently. Okay, this could be a okay solution, but the only problem is bringing a coach implies or can imply extra costs. I'm not going to choose this right away because of this. And again, at the end of the day, the project manager should be the one that's coaching the team. The project manager is the leader. If the project manager loses his or her leadership quality, it is very detrimental for the project success. Okay? So I'm not going to choose this right away. Meet with the affected team members and advise them to reduce their capacity when faced with interruptions. Hey, that's kind of weird. Meet with the project team members and advise them to not reduce their capacity. Okay, there we go. Okay, yes. Okay, so you're basically telling your team members, hey, when people interrupt you, don't get interrupted, right? So it's a solution, but there's no steps though. You're not finding what the root problem is. You're not trying to really discover the problem, right? So it's a solution, but it's not really a good grounded solution. D, suggest the team improve their planning process by breaking down tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces. Okay, this is not going to be the solution because we know the problem is interruptions and requests from other team members. It's not a problem with their task itself. So by saying breaking down tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces, you're not addressing the root cause. What am I supposed to do about the interruptions from other team members? What am I supposed to do about these requests? Okay? The best answer here is going to be A. A respects our principle. Remember that. Root cause analysis is one of the most common tools you are going to see. Okay? They might not phrase it in such a way where they say root cause analysis. They might just say root causes. Or they might say find the core problem. Or something similar to it. But you need to understand that we are after the root cause. Okay? All right, let's move on to question 7. We are almost done, guys. 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 more questions. Hopefully, at this point, you're getting kind of the hang of it. 3 steps that I mentioned. So you guys could implement that in your PMP exam. And remember, I have the workbook with more questions at the end. Send me a DM on LinkedIn. Connect with me, and we will get through this together. Okay? Okay, fine. P.S. Problem statement. A PM is overseeing the rapid development software project. Company expects one of the deliverables to be delivered within 2 weeks. However, the team is experiencing issues, and the release management team currently has a 3-week backlog. What should the project manager do? Okay. So, need to deliver in 2 weeks. But we have a 3-week backlog. That's not a problem statement. So, A, let's eliminate some answers. Push the team to work faster so that deliverables are developed and delivered within management's requested time frame. Okay, so pushing the team to work faster is not really a solution. I'm kind of looking for how will you push the team to work faster? And is faster always good? Okay. I want to eliminate this because, again, it doesn't contradict our principles. But it's not the best way to solve the problem. So, maybe I might eliminate it. Let's eliminate it for now, actually. Because I can already tell it's not going to be the answer. B, engage with the stakeholders to address the bottleneck. And explore ways to streamline the overall process. So this is a good word. Bottleneck is another word for finding the root cause. Highlight this. Bottleneck, or actually, I'll highlight it. Bottleneck is another good word for the root cause. So we have root cause over here. So we got some problems going on. we have a 3-week backlog and we're supposed to deliver in 2 weeks. So we have some clear problems. So we have number one, the bottleneck or the root cause. And we want to explore ways to streamline the overall process to make everything smooth. Okay, I like this solution. I like it. And you have the word engage, which is a servant leader quality. And remember, this is principle number 3. We want to be a servant leader. Okay, so you got 2 things going on for this solution. C, have the team adjust to the tighter deadline so the integration can be completed on time. Yes, again, it's a solution, but you're not telling me how. I need to know how I can adjust to the tighter deadline. B will tell me how, because once we find what the root cause or the bottleneck is, we'll be able to address that. So I'm going to eliminate C because it does not solve the core problem. And B is a better solution for now. D, okay, discuss. I like this. I like this word. You're taking a step back. Discuss with the team and slow down the progress. Okay, slow down the progress to ensure alignment with the release management team's timeline. All right. Now this is like the opposite direction of the solution. So this does not solve. Not only does this not solve the problem, this will probably delay things even more because we're slowing down the progress. Right? Even if we want to ensure alignment, we're still slowing down the progress. The best answer is going to be B. All right, let's move on to question number 8. Question number 8, where is this? There we are. Okay, question number 8. A PM is overseeing 2 projects simultaneously. The duration of the critical project must be reduced, but there's not enough resources to do so. Additionally, the schedule does not have tasks that can be overlapped. What should the PM do? Okay. So problem statement is what? The problem statement here is that the PM is doing 2 projects simultaneously. And the critical path, this is very important, critical path must be reduced. But not enough resources. And there's something else. No schedule. So okay, tasks cannot be overlapped. All right. So, what is the solution now? A, identify the most efficient use of shared resources between both projects. Okay. But the question says there's not enough resources to do so. But I guess if you're trying to figure out the way to best share resources, it could work. Not the best solution, because if you're sharing resources, that means that one project might eat more resources than the other. So I'm not going to eliminate it. Let's just see what else there is. Use resource optimization techniques in order to ask for more resources. Okay, so you don't use resource optimization techniques. I don't even know what that is. I don't think that's a PM term. And you might have this on your exam as well, where they start mentioning random terms that are not actually PMP terms. But if we're talking about resource optimization techniques, that means that it should lead us to a solution where we don't have to ask for more resources. Instead, we use what we already have in a more optimized way. So B, I'm not going to choose it. I'm going to eliminate this. This doesn't solve the core problem. Provide training on schedule optimization to help the project teams improve their scheduling skills. Okay, now this is an example of a piece of information mentioned in the actually no, this is an example of a clear example that it will not solve the core problem, because the core problem does not have to do with a knowledge gap. There's nothing in the question that mentions that the project team has a knowledge gap, meaning that they don't know how to schedule. Okay? So again, C mentions a piece of information not mentioned in the question. This is our principle. This is a very important principle. If you need me to go back to my list, I will gladly do so you guys really get the point. Where is it? Okay. 19. When an answer mentions information not mentioned in the question, eliminate that answer. Okay. Very simple. But remember, it's absolutely essential. The PMP loves to do that a lot. Okay. So I'm not going to pick that. I already knew the answer is going to be D. Okay. Fast tracking techniques. So actually, this should be fast tracking, fine. But on your exam, you might get something like scheduling compression. So fast tracking is not actually a correct solution. So I think there was a mistake in my when making these questions. And I want you to tell me why. Actually, tell me why in the comment section. Why fast tracking will not work in this situation. Okay? The answer should have said scheduling compression techniques. Now, a scheduling compression technique, one of those techniques is fast tracking. There's another one. But why will fast tracking not work? You tell me. I want you guys to tell me this. This is a very good technical problem. If you understand this, you understand this whole scheduling compression chapter, okay? But the answer is going to be scheduling compression. So the answer is going to be D, but again, not fast tracking. All right? Let's move on to question number 9. Okay. Hopefully you guys are understanding. And if not, again, reach out to me. I'm here to help you as much as I can so you guys get PMP certified. Number 9. An Agile team has committed to delivering the first product release after the current iteration. However, multiple operational issues have prevented the developer from delivering. Additionally, technical lead has announced a resignation from the company. What should the PM have the team do to recover from these setbacks? Okay, we're going to write the problem statement now. Okay, so no delivery. I'm just going to write this. This is how I understand it. No delivery due to whatever issues. Plus, one of your leads, your technical leads, or I'm just going to call it team member, leaving. Now, again, I'm writing the problem statement in a way that I understand it. You want to do the same. You don't want to be all formal because the PMP is not going to check your problem statement understanding. You want to do it for yourself to make sure that you are addressing every single problem that the question highlights. And you're eliminating all the other information that's not required. A, review the ongoing sprint constraints and assess alternative options for the release plan. I like these words. I like review. I like assess. This is principle number 1, taking a step back. B, stop the sprint. Okay. I can already tell it's not going to be the answer. You never want to stop a sprint. Why you don't want to stop a sprint is because you do not want to delay the project. When you stop something, you are, as a consequence, going to delay the project. Stop the sprint, plan again, and reprioritize the backlog to adjust to the reduced resource capacity. Again, never settle for delays. So in this case, I'm going to eliminate B. C, refer to the resource management plan to determine the best course of action. Okay. But this is not, yeah, we do have a resource problem. And this does technically solve that, but it doesn't solve the core problem. It doesn't solve the problem with the operational issues. Let's just continue for now. Proceed with the existing sprint plans to ensure some of the scope is still delivered. Okay, so D does not solve the core problem. Yes, proceeding with the existing sprint plans, great. However, what are we doing about the operational issues? What are we doing about this person leaving, the team member leaving? Okay, now we're stuck with two questions that are a little bit strange because I don't think both of them answer the core problem. But let's just look at this. A, review the ongoing sprint constraints. Okay, and assess alternative options for the release plan. I think this is going to be the answer. Because the sprint constraints are not only the operational issues, but is also the team member leaving? This is something that's going to restrict us from achieving what we need to. C, on the other hand, is a good solution. However, it only addresses one of the problems, which is the team member leaving. A is going to be the answer. Now, listen, I don't want you to stress. The PMP exam is going to be much more clear. I want to make these questions a little bit more tricky, a little bit difficult, so you use your brain a little bit and you're able to dissect the answers as much as possible. Okay? If you're getting it so far, you are good for now. Let's move on to the last and final question, an easy one, but a common one that you will see on your exam. Let's do it together. A company is transitioning to an agile project approach. Not all stakeholders support the transition, and some prefer a predictive approach. However, the sponsor needs to produce results fast, or the project will be discontinued. What approach should the project manager take? Okay. I'll give you a little hack here. Now, this is not a situation-based question where we can apply the principles, but this is a very, very easy question to get. You want to understand a couple of things. This project has two components. The company is transitioning to an agile project approach. Not all stakeholders support the transition. That's number one. Okay. And some prefer a predictive approach. So this basically goes with number one as well. However, the sponsor needs to produce results fast. Results. You want to produce results fast. What approach? Okay, so we have clearly predictive, because you have some some stakeholders that want to stick with predictive, and an indication of that, a very strong indication, is that a company is transitioning to an agile project approach. So because of this transition, you want to introduce agile concepts slowly. Actually, this is one of our principles. Let me show you this really quickly before we continue. Okay, number 14. When transitioning from predictive to agile, introduce agile concepts slowly. If you introduce agile concepts too fast, it might be hard because it's a culture change, right? So introduce agile concepts slowly. So we have to mix both predictive and agile together. When you mix predictive and agile, this equals to hybrid. Bam. If the question just mentioned that, you know what, they're working on agile, there's a lot of risk in the project, or sorry, not working agile, but there's a lot of risk, but they don't mention any indication of predictive approach or something in the terms of hybrid, you want to use agile. Okay? A lot of the times, the 99% of the times, the answer is going to be hybrid for these type of questions. For your exam, take predictive and waterfall as the same. For some reason, some people have like different reasonings. There's a little bit different things here and there, but no. For your exam, take predictive and waterfall as the same. You have predictive, you have agile, and you have hybrid. You have iterative and stuff like that, but like I haven't seen that in the past in my students' exams or when I was doing the exam as well. Okay, hybrid is going to be the answer. And that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember, if you want this PMP mindset workbook, right now you're seeing a little part of it. There's going to be more. It's going to be more. If you want this textbook or this workbook, this will be enough for you. When you're doing the exam, when you're studying, this will be enough for you to take on the mindset portion, which is 80% of the exam. And I think after this video, I'm not going to make any more mindset videos because this is all that you need. So if you want this workbook, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to include my profile down below. Send me a DM and ask me your questions. I love speaking to you guys. And you've grown this channel for me. So I really appreciate it. Ask me your questions. I'm here for you. Take care and have a fantastic rest of the day. One more thing. I have my course link down below as well. If you're interested, let me know. Book an appointment. I can show you around. Take care and have a fantastic rest of the day.